Kyle here from All Media Reviews, here to do another react to. I'm getting kind of in the swing and habitually making these 10 top 10 songs on Spotify. This time I'm going to do Yes. So I figured you do Genesis, you do Yes. You did Rush yesterday, so go make the rounds here. I didn't look at the listener numbers, of course, 3 million listeners, monthly listeners. So yeah, I mean, going into like with Yes and with Genesis, I figured it's interesting. The picture shows the current Yes, with or pretty recently current Yes with Jeff Downs, Billy Sherwood, and John Davison. Um, yeah, I mean, I would Owner of a Lonely Heart and Roundabout. The top three songs. So just looking at it right now, the top three songs are no surprise. Although, not a surprise that Owner of a Lonely Heart is way ahead of all the others, even Roundabout at 236 million. And Roundabout being second also isn't too surprising. I've seen All Good People is close. That is a pretty big disparity. Even though I've seen All Good People is the third most popular, maybe in the last month or whenever again the algorithm's taking it. That's almost 100 million less streams. I mean, I guess Roundabout's gained some more popularity in recent years. People just realize, but when I was like getting into classic rock, I've seen All Good People was like the song you first thought of Yes for. That and Owner of a Lonely Heart, but even more than Owner of a Lonely Heart for classic rock radio at least. So, long distance runner-up number 4 at 12 million. Yeah, I can see that. I think you think the fourth most popular Yes song. It definitely is a dip after I've seen All Good People, but Love Will Find a Way from Big Generator. Yeah, that one would not make my list. I'm surprised, and that's 80s Yes. That's off. That's the not so desirable 80s Yes for me. Changes, on the other hand, at 11 million. I think that partly because the popularity of 90125 and Owner of a Lonely Heart. But to me, that's one of the only have a couple songs I like off of 90125. It's good to see it at number 6, and it even has more streams. It should have more streams than Love Will Find a Way. Almost as many as Long Distance Run with 11 million. So close to the edge, the full thing is at number 7. That's only at 9 million. Leave It number 8 at 8.4 million. Yeah, I mean, that's the accessibility and the notoriety. The highest amount of exposure they got was with 90125 in the 80s, unfortunately, largely because of Owner of a Lonely Heart. But I've grown to like Leave It. I used to hate it. Recently, in the last couple months, I've been listening again. I kind of like it more than I used to. Although that song by Everything Everything on their debut album sounds a lot, always reminds me of it. It sounds a lot like it. And also, I believe Kevin on one of the Call Me Kai albums, Kevin Gilbert basically borrowed part of Leave It anyway. And just looking here. Anyway, Starship Trooper number 9. See, I'm a little surprised it's down this low, but the 10 million streams, I'm not surprised because after Roundabout, the classic rock, Yes, and All Good People, this has always been the third most popular. I'm actually surprised it's below Long Distance Runaround, but from a number standpoint, it's only got 2 million less at 10 million versus 12 million. And then on You and I, because of the popularity of Close to the Edge, the album, I'm not surprised it ended up on here, so at 6.7. So what's not on here? They've covered the gist of what. I mean, there's a lot of Yes songs that aren't on here that I love, but obviously nothing from Tales from Tropic Oceans. I'm a little surprised there's not a version of Soon on here. I'll look that stuff up. Now thinking about it, there's a Wonder Stories. I'm actually pretty surprised that Wonder Stories didn't make that. I want to see what the stream numbers on Wonder Stories is, because Wonder Stories is a classic rock staple also. Nothing from Drama, no Tempest Fugit. Tempest Fugit would probably be the most likely song. Not Don't Kill the Whale. Part of it's also you've been getting the compilations in here, like that singles thing that just came out. So how many streams does South Side of the Sky have? I mean, I wouldn't expect that, although that's a favorite. That has received a little bit of airplay, but among prog folks, it's more accessible. 4.9, so it's not quite up there, as opposed to Roundabout, which is at 125 million. I mean, that's a big disparity from Roundabout's the one that got on the radio, but South Side of the Sky still. I mean, it's still got some play. Long Distance Runaround, of course, on that. That was on the list as well. Heart of the Sunrise, my go-to, is at 1.3 million, so that's way down the list. Let's see here. See, then that's the other problem with this is that you have the deluxe edition, and then you have just the remaster, and that's where these numbers are even more skewed. Which one are you looking at? The deluxe edition generally is probably the one. Siberian Katra didn't make it, and that's at 5.1 million. So that could have at one point been in there. None of the Tales stuff. Let's just see here. Revealing Signs of God is probably the most well-known piece from Tales. It's at 1.7 million. My favorite is Ritual. Ritual is at only 733,000. That's a shame. So let's just see here. So Relayer, and then of course you have the remaster. So what does the remasters have, or the deluxe edition rather? It's kind of why these numbers are skewed. They should be like combining the two and then publishing it together as being part of the algorithm. The Yes Songs Live stuff, of course. So they don't have Soon as a separate track. Gates of Delirium on this part has 1.9 million. Let's see if they have the expanded one is at one. Well, maybe it is this. Maybe they do, put them together because that's like the same number, 1.9 million. That's a relief that Spotify actually did something well here. So the Soon, just the snip at the end of Gates of Delirium is only at 3. Oh, it's at 3 million. So it's not quite high enough to make their top 10 from a number standpoint, but it's up there. Now, Wonder Stories, how many does that have? 4.6. I'm actually surprised it's that low. I would figure that Wonder Stories, because that's a classic rock staple. It's a secondary one. They play Long Distance Runaround more, and they play obviously Roundabout more, and All Good People. Let's just see here. So, Don't Kill the Whale. I would be surprised if it cracked a million. 1.4 million. Let's see here. So the stuff from Drama. Let's got to get up to the drama part. Tempest Fugit is the most well-known. That's at less than 2 million. Jeez. I know it's not John Anderson, of course, but it has the Buggles guys. So Into the Lands, my go-to on Drama. Not even a million streams. That is sad. 940,000. And then Machine Messiah, that would be sort of the other token. Just over a million streams. So, I mean, I get that, but it's still sad to see when you see your favorite songs not showing up there. I mean, the stuff in the last couple decades, I wouldn't expect, because they didn't really have any go-to hits really. I mean, they have some songs that were people liked, the fan base like The Ladder. I mean, I don't know, Face to Face, that was one of the songs that was kind of poppy. That's at 244,000. I'd be curious on Mind Drive if they've got. They don't have it. They don't have the Keys to Ascension on here. Maybe they have like a Keys Studio. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, I didn't look at Time in a Word, I suppose, would be another one, which was a smaller hit, but it was like their first hit of sorts. That's at 1.8 million. So it's, in the top maybe 20, 25 Yes songs in terms of streams, but it's not cracking the top 10 anytime soon. Nothing nowhere close. There's a couple others, the Sweetness, songs I'm thinking of that, be curious on what kind of stream numbers they have. Astral Traveler. Where's Astral Traveler at? 681,000 only. The other stuff from the Yes album, Perpetual Change, Adventure, those two were not. They're known to being on that album, like the single version of Your Move, 1.7. Yeah, I mean those little instrumental bits I wouldn't expect to Yours is no disgrace. What's that at? That's over 6 million. Wow. If that could see some more activity, potentially could it would have a chance to crack the top 10 at some point. Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess we're seeing like it is a lot of these results are showing up like for Genesis and Yes, they're showing up to an extent as a fan and as a fan that would like to see people hear the music that I love, which has its pluses and minuses because partly when something gets really popular to me it doesn't feel as personal. It's like my thing anymore. It's everyone's thing. But it would be nice to see more people listening to drama, listening to Soon or the Relayer stuff. But it's just again comes down to masses and time, and people have time to listen to a couple songs versus a whole album. They're not album listeners; they're song listeners, of course. So, but yeah. I mean, again, I don't know like how often I'm gonna be end up doing these and do like a revisiting. I could do them once a year or something like that. But it is if the results are changing dramatically. I mean, it's a monthly thing. I don't know. I'd be curious about that. To look at the numbers, just like check every few months or maybe once or twice a year just to see. I'd just like write the numbers down and try to remember. So, but anyway, that's it for the Yes. Spotify top 10 and listener number, stream numbers. What is your take on that? What songs? I think the biggest omission, or the biggest surprise rather, not omission. The biggest omission is Wonder Story. The biggest surprise is Love Will Find a Way. I know Big Generator. They were trying to capitalize on the success of 90125, and it just didn't. That was like maybe the biggest hit on there, but that's a song that does not get talked about. The band has not played it live that much that I'm aware of, at least. So that's why I'm really surprised to see it on here. But I don't know. I mean, those the '80s Yes fans like, oh, I want to hear something else like "Going Over Lonely Heart." Let's try to check the next album out or something like that. I don't know. That's the mentality, because '80s Yes, even much less like Genesis. Their classic stuff is actually more well known, and so if people are going to listen to stuff, explore their catalog, they should be exploring the '70s catalog more so, I find. But then again, most people say, well, explore the stuff from the '90s and 2000s, and even though I'm not that crazy about most of it, I like some stuff here and there, but as a whole, I'm not the gung ho Yes fan from that period, like a friend of mine is. A lot of people online, including Scott from the Prog Corner, and a lot of these Yesaholics. So, but again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and we'll see you next time.